In this episode, we're looking at video content versus written content. You've probably been told that you need to focus on content, but does that mean blogs or video content? You may have also heard that written gets traffic, but video builds trust. So which should you do if your goal is to generate leads? In this episode, we're going to dive into a surprising distinction that most people miss, and how the format you choose could be shaping the type of clients you attract. So let's dive right in. There's a lot of wisdom that's being spread around about this topic, and a lot of it contradicts itself. So we're going to take a look at a few of these teachings or these myths to see what's true about it and what is true and what's reality. Myth number one, video builds trust. Written builds SEO. They serve totally separate purposes. So I'm definitely not going to argue about the first part of that video builds trust. Video is a great way because it utilizes more senses and we can get a better sense of the person. So not only do we hear, but we get to see. And when we see a person, we get to see facial expressions, we get to see emotion. So if you think about the author of an article, you can build a sense of who that author is if you read enough, but you don't know what that person looks like, you don't know what they sound like, so then change that to audio. Let's say you hear that person's voice, you get to feel like you know them a little bit more, at least by their voice, you'd recognize their voice, but you still don't know what they look like. You don't know what facial expressions they're making when they're saying those things. So you add in video, and obviously we love video, you're watching video now. So the second part of this myth, and I will verify that it is a myth, is written builds SEO. That was the case 20 years ago. So back in the heyday of search engine optimization, the goal was you have a website and you're going to get your website ranked at the top of Google. You put written content on your website, mixed in with photos, but the written content is what got indexed and searched. And you put in the keywords, which are written. And then you did article marketing, which was written. And you did blog commenting, which was written. And you do link building on other word sites. That's all written content, and that was what SEO was about. Well, about 10 years ago, SEO died. I had a search engine optimization service. I was very successful at getting my clients ranked at the top of Google. But again, about 10 years ago, that service stopped working. Luckily, there was something that I discovered a couple of years prior about YouTube that I was way more excited about. So when regular SEO died, I wasn't that upset because I found something that was even better. So if we go back about 12 years ago, I noticed that this YouTube video that was on a web page, we'll just call it an SEO page. This page was ranking number one on Google, and it was a lot of work to get that page ranking on Google. And there are a lot of different parts of this page. But this one piece, the YouTube video, was getting 50 times more views on YouTube than ranking number one on Google. So that's the pivot that I made. So when SEO fell apart, I continued to focus on YouTube, and it's obviously been a great decision. So we'll go into more detail on this, but I use video to rank at the top of YouTube search, Google search, and now ChatGPT. Myth number two, if I'm good at one, I don't need the other. Well, it depends on which one you're good at. If you're good at written but not good at video, yeah, that could hurt you because you're going to have a hard time building that trust. But also, people often search for video, and video is what builds a relationship. So when you're generating leads and you want to really build trust in those leads, video is the best way of doing that. So if your strength is written, I'm going to challenge you to practice with video. You can get better at it. But if your strength is video and you think, well, I'm good at one but not the other, I'm not really good at written, here's the good news. We have ChatGPT today, so you can do video, you can talk to the camera, you can focus on what your strength is, and then you can take the transcript of that video. YouTube gives you an automatic transcript. So just by putting your videos on YouTube, YouTube will automatically transcribe that. You can then copy and paste that transcript into ChatGPT and say, hey, take this content, use my wording, but rewrite it in the form of a blog. And then you can post that blog right below an embedded video on your blog. Now, even if text is the way that people begin when they're doing research or searching for some answer, video is necessary for building trust, and video is what people use when they're trying to figure out, should I buy? So I might go to ChatGPT or to Google and type in a question, get some quick answers. And then I might decide, I want to dig into this a little bit deeper. So maybe I love ChatGPT. So I'll go into ChatGPT and I'll type in a lot more. I'll type in paragraphs, or I'll talk to it and I'll explain my scenario and what I'm trying to learn. And so then I'll get more detailed response. I'll get links to references. I might get a link to Wikipedia. Very commonly, I get a link to a video. Now, when I'm ready to buy or purchase, or just yesterday actually, I had to change the filters on my car, the air filter in my Tesla. I've never done that before, so I watched a YouTube video to learn how to do that. Now, you have expertise and you solve people's problems, right? Whether it's on the consumer side or on the business side, what questions or what challenges are they trying to figure out in their life or in their business? At first, they're going to find the written text, but those that are really serious, that are most likely to hire you, they're eventually going to find video. If people stop at the article, they might not remember you. They might remember a couple of points from the article. But think about a video that's 10 minutes long. They spent 10 minutes with you, and they're more likely to remember you. And if they see your image again, or they see another video with your face on the thumbnail, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Now, if you have high ticket offers and you're not just going to sell from a landing page or from an email, meaning you're going to have a strategy session or a sales call. In those calls, you're able to really diagnose their problem and see if what you provide is a good solution. And then you can make that offer. Now, I don't know about you, but it makes a big difference on that conversation depending on how well people are prepared. So if somebody has read my book before having a call, they already know the ins and outs of my strategy. Or if they've attended my webinar, same, they know the ins and outs of my strategy. And so on our call, I'm not having to convince them of the value of my strategy, but we're really talking more about, is the strategy a fit for them and what can they expect? So in your case, the same thing would apply. If they've been able to watch video or multiple videos or read your book or attend a webinar, the more that relationship is built ahead of time, the better your sales calls will go. So how do I know what type of content my audience prefers? Well, I think we need to take a step back and think about, what is the purpose of the content? Is the content's purpose to market and attract new people that have never heard of you before? Or is the purpose to nurture? So you've got an existing subscriber base on your email list and you're sending out regular emails. Or you've got podcast listeners, right? And so you send out an email or you launch a new podcast, you're nurturing your audience there. Or if you've got Facebook friends or LinkedIn connections and you make a post there, you're nurturing. So each platform kind of dictates the type of content that works the best. Now, if you are using YouTube as a nurture platform, then obviously video, you can't create written content on YouTube. On LinkedIn, you've got a bit of a choice, but text is preferred. And you can do a test in your email. Obviously you're going to have written text in your email, but you can show a thumbnail of a video and see how many people will click on it and watch that video. I wouldn't look at it by what content do people prefer other than the platform. I mean, if you're really good at Instagram and everything that you post there, you get the highest number of views, you're obviously going to want to keep doing that. And it's actually pretty rare that there's a genuine marketing opportunity. Most of it is all nurturing. The 3 ways that I found that you can market is you can do paid ads. So the different platforms will have a paid option and you can push your content in front of people who haven't heard of you before. You can have a piece of content go viral, but when you're trying to generate leads, that actually isn't the best idea. It's really exciting. You always get excited when you have a video that gets 1 million views, but those are the videos that don't generate leads. So it's not really a good marketing play. On YouTube, if you have a video that goes viral and your goal is lead generation, it can really hurt you. I've got other videos that explain why that is, why that can actually shoot you in the foot. I had a video that totally went viral and I had to delete it from my channel. So I'll link to that video right up here if you want to know more about that. The reason that this can be confusing is because there are 2 different paths to success on YouTube. If your goal is ad revenue, you want to get as many views as possible and you want to grow as many subscribers on your channel as possible. More views equals a bigger payment from YouTube every single month. You're not trying to curate a target audience that are going to buy your services. You just want as many views as possible so that YouTube can show them more ads and you can get paid more. But if you have a business and you're leveraging YouTube to generate leads, going viral can actually deviate and take you away from your main audience. So when you make videos for your audience, these other new subscribers won't like that content and the YouTube algorithm will tell you, stop, make this type of content, not that. If your goal is ad revenue, then yeah, you do want your videos to go viral. But if your goal is lead generation, I highly recommend you watch this video next, why viral videos might be hurting your business. I'll see you there.